Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show, where we explore what it really takes to rise above life challenges through resilience, a positive mindset, and meaningful action. Today, we're diving into a topic that's heating up the headlines and hitting our wallets: retail, social media, and the growing trade war drama involving Trump, Elon Musk, and the wider impact on consumers and business alike. Joining me is someone who's been at the forefront of online media and retail insights for nearly 3 decades. Dominick Miserandino. He's the former CEO of RetailWire.com, now CEO of Retail Tech Media Nexus, and a regular face on CNN, Fox, MSNBC, you name it. Dominick breaks down big, often messy stories into practical insights that both everyday consumers and industry experts can understand. So if you've been wondering what this social and retail chess match really means, you're in for a treat. Dominick Miserandino, welcome to the Dave Palma Show.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Dominick, it's great to have you here. So let's start with the big one. What do you make of the current feud between Trump and Musk, and how is it shaping the retail and trade landscape right now?
It is two big personalities going at it, and whenever two people have a fight, nobody wins.
That's right.
Not a clean situation by any means.
No, it absolutely isn't. I mean, Elon Musk, actually, I don't know if he's thrown in a white towel there into the boxing ring, but he did write a tweet yesterday.
He was sort of made it unusual, not unusual. He said, I kind of regret what I tweeted last week. But it's kind of an ongoing process. I mean, whenever this particular podcast runs, I mean, the news could be changing by that time. That's how quick this whole story is moving. And that's really the interesting thing that changes with social media. People are making decisions, making investments, just making life decisions sometimes based on tweets.
Yeah, I know. That is the life of today. I mean, I'm trying to get my 10-year-old daughter off it. The law's changing in July, and it's going to actually be criminalised if certain things happen with the guidelines they're giving. So that's a good thing, but actually making it criminal law will probably make it a bit hard to manage children on it, because that is a real issue, isn't it?
I think it's children. It's certainly an issue, because the uniform factor is people making decisions based on social media without doing the research. You know, the Tesla stock has moved up and down depending on his tweets. Policy is being affected. And there used to be a time we would listen to the 5 o'clock news and kind of take 5 minutes to absorb the information. And now we're not necessarily contemplating the information, but reacting to the information.
Yeah, that's it, really. Yeah. But back to Trump and Musk. I mean, actually, there was a comment from, I think it was from Trump when the feud between him and Musk happened. He actually made a reference to Russia and Ukraine, saying they're like two children fighting. It's actually quite hypocritical, because it's like these two children fighting, isn't it? Really.
It's what's unusual to me is also today's media landscape is that everything is documented. It's all out there. You can see
exactly.
But we also have a very, very short-term perspective on it. So, we're not necessarily connecting certain events that you could say, wait a minute, you said this about this and this about this. It's all out there. I don't think there's been a time in human history where we've had to this degree of constant information coming out, documented. And that's really, to me, the kicker is that all this information is out there, right in front of your face. You could love it, hate it, but it's all documented. And I think sometimes we're forgetting that. We're just forgetting that's all out there.
Yeah. I I went on social media quite a lot on Facebook when it first came out in 2007. Well, it came out just before that, a couple of years before that. And the first rule of thumb was obviously when emails is around, it's like it was a bit too late for me at first. And there's things even I put up to date, and people give you backlashes on it and say, "Yeah, I quoted this, and I saw this email, I found it from a friend," or there's something come up, and I thought, and I read somewhere, whatever you put online, don't put whatever you want online unless you want the whole world to know about it. Like emails aren't secrets. Even.
And I've always had that mantra: as much as I can, don't put anything online unless you want it online. But what's intriguing to me in today's world is we're putting conversations online, full on pissing matches between Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and it's right there.
Yeah.
Something we want. I don't particularly advise putting any pissing matches online.
No, absolutely not. But as I said, I had a lot of fun into it until I started my podcast in 2018 and got really popular in 2020. Got really, really discoverable and everything. But and then things changed and shifted for me. But then all of a sudden, I checked my Facebook last week, which I don't really hardly put anything on. I just mainly use it for marketing purposes, and maybe I've got a politics degree, so if I have to do anything politically, I will. But again, what the consequences could be. So you do the politics at the right place in the right time. But then I saw some things I put on when I was just having fun and entertaining, saying about Prince Harry. This is about 2014 or 13, I think, maybe before that, 2012, when he went to LA and he played naked billiards in Vegas, and he got caught by the paparazzi with some girls. And I just wrote a naughty thing saying, "Whatever happens in Vegas," and then ... and then put Harry got caught, blah blah blah, and he said, I never thought no, his quote was something like, "The Vegas slogan don't work," so I'll put his quote up there, as to say, "Serves you right," whatever happens goes on Facebook now, basically. People will see it and comment on it. It doesn't matter where you are.
It's kind of a different world.
Yes,
you're putting it out there for the universe to see and the universe to interpret, and yet the other paradox is we're also forgetting it, and we have a short time span in terms of the relevancy.
Yeah, well, it's not that. I mean, there's people just putting stuff on Facebook. He got caught by the paparazzi there. The thing is, someone can just pick up the phone and just video something and throw it to the news, can't they? And when big things happen, like right now, we're going to talk about it in LA, and always kind of some kind of riots going and some contentious things that's sparked up, and it'll just be videoed, and it will be thrown in. And
on top of that, you're exactly right. We've reached this age where video is so easy. So you have the social component you were referencing. But even 2020, video was not as easy as it is now. Now, everyone not only has the phone, but super high quality. I mean, I've done TV interviews on my iPhone, and quality was perfect, spot on.
Yeah, so, yeah. The iPhones are pretty good. Yeah,
that contributes to it all. You have the instantaneousness, I should say, the live streaming, and the cultural impact that we don't care. We'll post anything, or we'll forget things 10 and a half minutes later. I think that all adds to this soup.
Yeah. But the point I was trying to make about the Prince Harry post was it came back. It's like a reminder. It's like, here's a post. It just came back on Facebook, and it's like, oh, I better delete that, because I was trying to clean it up for my professional kind of image now of the podcast, which is my funnel, if you like. It's the main thing I do to monetize everywhere else and everything as well.
Correct.
So I had to be professional, and it's not a professional thing really to do, because other people were thinking, "Oh, is that what he's going to say about us?" And it's like, no, it's not like that.
Oh, I get that completely.
Yeah, yeah.
None of this does, and that's a different world.
Yeah, yeah. So let's move on to LA then, because obviously, and then we'll talk about tariffs. LA, obviously, I mean, this time it's immigrants with Trump, and last time it was George Floyd and the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement. But so this now is moving to immigration, which obviously he's blatantly, obviously, really want to do something about it. It's Trump 2.0, isn't it? Really? So what's your take on this? I mean, I haven't understand. We've got a smaller incident happening in Northern Ireland, which is part of UK actually. We've got an immigration situation here as well, and a party called Reform, which is trying to copycat the Dodge Department of America. So
It's the LA situation is quite interesting because you have a social component reporting. There's violence, there's not violence. We have people live streaming it. And then on top of it, you have, for the first time in 40, 50 years, we're having troops get to LA. None of it's a great look overall.
no, it's not. I've seen it. I've seen some of the footage of some journalists gotten hit by photographers with rubber bullets. I mean, they're paparazzi. I've come across a couple of them, what were you doing? But, journalists know, because even in the Black Lives Matter movement, one got blinded with a bullet, and I don't know if it's a rubber one, but.
And that also adds complexity. Journalists getting hit. Whenever you're seeing things like this, it's sad. Let's start right there. I'm most concerned for it because you need to keep the ability to protest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And on the same token, how do you balance these lines? You have that element of letting people and encouraging freedom of speech. The second you have troops on the ground, you're causing a social impact that people might not feel as comfortable to in their own town and to express the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Overall, very delicate situation because it could fall any which way at this point. But look what happens. For a different example, there's a big parade on Saturday, the military parade in DC. First time we've had a military parade in DC. In turn, that goes in one direction. There's this movement of no kings going on where people are protesting across the country. Every reaction begets sometimes another reaction. And every time you have one direction, you send in troops, you get people protesting more. You have a big military parade in DC, you get these protests across the country saying no kings protests. And it's interesting to see in history where it falls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, yeah, the thing is actually, before we move on to trade war, whatever you want to call it, is that they're using water cannons in Northern Ireland. As I say, it's a smaller scale than LA, but still not very nice, nasty scenes, being seen. But they only use water cannons and military and everything else if it's political. So in a way, Trump knows that he's not going to really they're going to try and sue him, but, California state or whatever, but, it's not like a civilian situation. Do you see what I mean? It is political because it's immigration. This is the situation where they're in, but is that too heavy-handed? That's the thing. Have you gone too far with all this?
When in the world of politics, but also in the world of politics, it's amplified by the social media we described. And when it's amplified by social media, what to me is intriguing is where that amplification goes. I've never heard of these protests, the No Kings protests, as of 2 weeks ago. Now they're all over and they're increasing rapidly, which is also what social media can do. Maybe 5, 10, 20 years ago, you couldn't have protests on a Saturday so well organized. And now they're popping up every 10 minutes. A new protest, a new city. So one thing sometimes feeds the other. And be careful what you wish for. You have a parade in DC, and then are you encouraging a reaction of protests against the administration. And if you respond to that with more military, does it beget more protests? The social media, I think, just rapidly increases whatever the response may be.
Yeah, no, that's it. Exactly. That's really a key thing. So let's get back to, let's talk about the recent thing with China US trade war, because I think at the moment he's actually thinking there's a deal that could be on the table. I haven't looked into it, so you could tell me more about that.
It currently seems to be, at the moment, could be on the table. I don't see reporting of the deal details itself. Some reports I've read recently, have been that it might just be bringing tariffs back to where they were before the trade war started. And you could see the markets definitely want a resolve. They're already responding to this. But that said, where I don't think there's enough details here just yet. I mean, when I'm looking at the futures right now, they're down a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see where these details land, because people just want to know what's happening. That's ultimately, I think, the ultimate goal in all this. What is going on? Can someone tell me the answer to that?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, back to the original question of, together with the Trump Musk question, is how is this shaping the retail and trade landscape right now? I mean, this podcast won't be going out for a couple of weeks, but if you could talk as if it's 2 weeks time from this recording, if you like, so that when my audience get to hear it, how would you think it's going to shape up in
I think
a few weeks to come? Because this isn't an overnight thing anyway, is it?
Exactly. I think the question is not so much to me where the tariffs land in terms of, is it 2%, 5%, 50%, 100%. I think the question becomes the predictability, the stability. That's all businesses really need. Whatever it is, we need to know what is that thing. Is it 2%? Is it 20%? I know as of this recording, their podcast, in X number of days, the tariffs might be reevaluated with this in this country. And if you're a retailer, you just need to order in your products. You need to know where I'm getting my inbound material, my supply chain, where to sell my products. You don't got time to make predictions. And that's where I think the challenge here, and the bigger challenge in a few weeks' time, where does this all land? When does it stop, and how can you predict? So
go on.
Making 2% versus 5% to me is not it. It's really going to be when it gets quiet.
And that's going to be quite a while, especially with China, US involved, because something will come up. It could be like the Ukraine, Russia. Obviously, that's a more serious situation, and it's still protracted. But it could be protracted in the same way as a trade war, rather than a, kind of territorial war. But
uncertainty never helps business and economies. Whether it be war, whether it be tariffs, any uncertainty causes people to all take a step back and say, what's going on here, essentially. And that doesn't make them comfortable. People want emotionally stability, financial stability. They want to feel comfortable.
So in terms of the retailers, are they bracing for impact, or are they finding ways to adapt and push forward? Because, as I say, this is still going to be ongoing for a while.
I think it depends on the nature of the business themselves. For example, chip manufacturers, they're 3, 4, 5 years to make a plant in the States. Maybe it's just certain goods. Can you get the goods elsewhere? Everyone is looking into it, but the question, I think, is so dependent on the nature of what they're importing, what they're working with. Is there an alternative? Can they get in the States? But every business is trying to figure it out. And if there is an alternative, they are going for that alternative. Slight challenge, though, trying to sort through all the noise and to find those alternatives without the alternative changing in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, you've been you've been the major media ventures through massive, or you've led major media ventures through massive shifts in technology and consumer behavior. And looking back, was there a time when things felt like they were spiraling, but you found a way through by doubling down on mindset and action? I always like to ask this because our listeners really connect with those personal turning points.
You know, in media, there has always been those moments of uncertainty. And in business, there's always been. You know, I remember in media when social media came out, when video streaming came out. I remember publishing at a time when even including photos and stories was strange. Like, oh, you want to be able to read it on mobile, and including a photo is just craziness. So, like, you've had these shifts where going mobile, etc. And I think it's just that is dealing with technology. If you're surprised by it, if you go, oh my goodness, how are we going to possibly work under mobile, or how are we possibly going to do streaming, or possibly do this? And if you act shocked every time, you're in for an early heart attack, and you're going nowhere. It's to be expected. It's the nature of the beast. I use the equivalent very often. If you're going out on the ocean and you say, how could there be a wave today? That's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. That's an expected event. In technology, it shifts and changes your initial plans constantly. There's a new technology, AI, of course, we did, which, these things are all there. Every few years, there's a cultural shift, a mindset shift to readapt. 3 years ago, I never heard of AI. No one.
Yeah, I mean, it was around, but it wasn't, and now it's going to be in everybody's lives, and in real serious situations like finance and the economy, healthcare for definite, for sure. That there's going to be big changes in that.
On everything. And I think the one thing I've seen common for AI or any tech, we get into it, we go overboard, we go crazy with it. Oh, let's use it all the time, whatever it may be. And then we go, wait a minute, let's take it down a notch, and look, we don't have to do everything like that. So it's just been interesting to me to see all these times your mindset just has to be, this is normal. This is the way it is.
It's the way it is. Well, it's like when social media first came out. It's like the .com when it went down, but it's like that. It's sort of gone in phases with technologies.
No, you're spot on. Social media and video streaming and this and this and this. All these things come out, and we all go.
Now it's blockchain and AI. Really, that's the two futuristic things. That's now the next thing.
And in 5 years, it'll be some other.
It'll be something else. It'll be a robot that you got to stop having riots in LA or something. No, I'm joking. Or using them drones, even drones and robots. Oh God, if they were controlled by AI, oh my goodness.
Well, and when those moments in society occur, you have to be able to go.
Well, the government's got their work cut out, haven't they, really? I mean, obviously, AI is the main thing they're now looking at that with the next regulation. But drones, it's regulated already, but, you just don't know when a terrorist is going to start using them. It's different with Ukraine. They're droning like hell with Russia and vice versa.
That's another technological example. I mean, drones were not, again, they were a thing, but not to the level they are now. And it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
Now, adapt and readapt, and I've gotten such a kick out of how you had drones, then you had the interference type guns to interfere with the signals, then you go now the fiber optic cables. So it's like this constant shift. That's the nature of technology.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, my background's firefighting, so I mean, we're starting to use drones in London. I mean, I'm retired now, but my London fire department, or fire brigade, we call them, are starting to use drone. But that plus AI will probably, on top of the firefighters, I wouldn't like to say it will take away their jobs, will probably give some accurate, especially with the high rise. We had a big situation where lots of people died in a high rise. It was a big death trap, but drones would have helped, to a certain point there, with AI as well. It just gives some information on the ground and, in control and everywhere else,
100,000%. And I think the answer to the question is your mindset has to constantly readjust, and you constantly have to figure, okay, that's great. Now what? That's wonderful. Now what? And that does become a little bit of a challenge. You have to constantly evaluate that challenge.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as with blockchain plus AI, I mean, I'm actually making money from it to be honest. Separate to this podcast, but people are still a little bit skeptical around that. Especially when it comes to crypto, and it needs to be regulated. But at the moment, it's starting to with SEC. However, it's going to be there. It's the future. And I can see the potential in it. So I've got in early. But, people are going to say, oh, I wished I got in when blah, blah, blah. It's a bit like Bitcoin. It's a bit too late, maybe. But when they bought it for $500 and it's now so many thousand or maybe $1 million, it's like, well, I should have been there 10 years ago or whatever.
I think, you look at even Bitcoin is such a wonderful example. You saw when it came out, it soared up, then back down again.
Yeah, but there's lots of bad press around it.
Yes, but there's also that degree of, all right, now what?
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's not. I mean, it's like there's a dark side to using that sort of thing with blockchain, because it's like, oh, it encourage money laundering, and it still could, but they're making pros saying we've got to accept this form of thing. It's working.
It all settles. You get to fling to one direction, fling to the other direction, and then you eventually land somewhere in the middle, somewhere, where it may be.
Yeah. Well, I hope something tells you that I'm a bit of a tech man myself. I mean, I did computer studies in 1980. It's one of my chosen subjects at high school when I was 15. So, Apple and Microsoft wasn't unusual to me, and the basic coding they used it. I think it was BASIC actually, the actual software programming thing then. So obviously I went into firefighting because I was also a good track person, and I just combined it all with what I know, because I was engineering minded and that sort of thing, mechanically minded. So yeah, okay, well, Dominic, thanks so much for joining us. It has
been such a pleasure, and I thank you.
Yeah, you've taken a complicated high stakes situation and made it accessible, while reminding us that adaptability and, yes, resilience are still at the core of navigating any storm, whether in business or life. So, yeah, definitely. Definitely. So to my listeners, remember, the headlines may shift daily, but your mindset, your ability to keep showing up, and the actions you take, that's where the real power lies. So until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep pushing forward. Dominic, thanks for sharing your expertise on the Dave Palmer Show.
I love it. Thank you, Dan.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palmer Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.